They sang "Kill the Farmer." Huh. And we stood by, almost nodded. They said "kill," they chanted "kill the farmer." We stood by, almost nodding in approval when trauma was visited upon the minds of even children of people who are still calling themselves Boer, and rightfully so, according to history and where they come from. 31 years later, their children are still being punished by the imposition of fear upon themselves that one day they will be slaughtered. The churches stood by, nodding. Even the most primary church organization, South African Council of Churches, stood up, stood on, nodding, or pretending not to hear. The justice system judged in favor of those who were sounding like scoundrels, thirsty for blood, and not realizing that this is a psychological vindication of the defeat that some people suffered at the World Trade Center. Do you imagine, can you imagine a country's problems being solved at the World Trade Center? There was something wrong with that, for that matter, for the place where we were supposed to have been negotiated for the future of this, at the World Trade Center. And when people came out of their crestfallen, their younger folk decided to compensate by singing "Kill the Boer, kill the farmer." Most crazy utterance for the world today. For the world today. We nodded and we did shut up until they came to kill our own whistleblowers. Then they came, and I'm not giving this label of killer to any particular political organization. I'm saying because we did not step in and stepped up to stop the chanting of "kill the Boer, kill the farmer," we end up killing our own, those of our own color. Most of them are falling to the bullet because they dared to be upright, if not almost righteous, to be whistleblowers of the crimes of politicians and political parties, wherever they are in power. And you see the head of state, wherever he goes, pretending to condemn the fact that municipalities are falling apart and giving statistics and so on. And it is amusing when he says this in very polished English. He says it in very soft tones and polished English, proving that he is not part of what he's saying. He's not part of it. If he was, we didn't need Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to step up. If the head of the state meant whatever nonsense he's saying today. So we had to suffer the consequences of allowing our young people to get crazy and bay for the blood of those who won the battle at the World Trade Center. We could not concede that they won the battle. We rather allowed them to continue to insult those who won the battle, because the battle was won basically by those that they are calling the Boer. It was won basically by the patriarchs today that we can call patriarchs of that society. That's the people who won the battle. And because the battle was won on the negotiation table, you didn't need some thugs to come out and rather sing and chant war songs, killer, more than just bloodletting songs, whilst they were also, first and foremost, above all, killing black people. In many ways, not only as those who are whistleblowers, but those who are just poor. But not only black people are poor in this country today, even millions of white people are poor because of this government that pretends to be still angry at the outcomes of the World Trade Center. How can a people's future be decided at a place called World Trade Center? And look into that carefully. Look into that, whether that was apt for people to go and negotiate. That's why today a young woman has been slaughtered in Mfuleni, and people, the indigent, she stood not only for the safety of the funds of Mfuleni, but she worked hard for the indigent. And those who know her, they say if you went to her office and it was time to go home, to knock off, it was Chaile time, she would continue working if there were people still needing her service. And everybody else who would come out of there would have been served to the best of her ability. Now you have these snakes slaughtering her mercilessly after the traditions of chanting, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, when they meant kill also the whistleblower, kill those with a good moral cachet, kill those who are protecting South Africa and its livelihood, who are protecting, above all, the poor. Kill them, because this country has become a thug country The government is a thug government. Thug government. Don't ever be misled by the sweet tone of your president, always talking in mollifying tones around issues, almost mollifying, if I would say that, and trying to speak in tongues of the snakes than speaking to the issue of the people. Lastly, stand up and form better governmental organizations through movements and not political parties. Forget of saying, I'll vote. There's no party to vote for. Today, any party, look at all the parties. There is none that deserve your vote. None, until you have a movement in this country that will be driven like Ujamaa and such movements. Only then will your country be safe, not in this day of the thug called a politician and the thug chamber called political party.